Calais, can you hear us?
I can.
Oh, it's so nice to hear that voice.
He makes me smile.
It's so nice to see that face. Look at him. He is now an old, wily veteran. We have known him since he was a young man. Stugotz, I am a terrible talent evaluator. Terrible. But I saw him play at the University of Miami. I'm like, oh, nobody's ever going to be able to block that. That's not something that can be blocked. It's too big, it's too strong, and it's too fast. And Stugotz.
And it's always smiling.
Yes, it is pretty happy unless you have to try and block him and he wants your quarterback, and unless you get in his way on the way to the Hall of Fame, because he's absolutely a Hall of Famer. He has been ransacking and sacking people for a really long time, and it has been a sheer delight, Calais, to see you wreck everybody in that league for what seems like now 100 years. You are you're the sixth oldest player in the league. Can you even believe that when I say it to you? And thank you for joining us. We're happy to see that this story, I'm assuming, ends in Miami, but maybe you'll play for another 40 years.
You know, I think it's poetic, to come back to Miami, 20 years from when I first stepped on campus at the University of Miami. It's crazy. Time flies, but I love it. It doesn't really feel like work. I get to just come to work and be a big kid every day and go out here and have fun playing football.
Can you tell us the story of what it meant to you emotionally when you started seeing that you might be able, again, I don't want to end your career before it's ending, but I just thought it was a perfect dismount for you to come home.
Yeah, I feel like it was a perfect time. I had other offers and, other places I think were respectable teams, but, the Dolphins just made a lot of sense. And, definitely has just that, just nostalgic, just being here in the city, the amount of love I had when I was playing here in college ball, and just, my love for the city and the fan base here, it made sense. And hopefully we make it count. I think this team is special, man. We got some playmakers, and the way we've been practicing, the mentality that we've had. You got a little chip on the shoulder, which I love. I appreciate. I'm hoping that I could just, make this year a real special year.
Were the other offers better, or how does that work when you're making the decision emotionally on where to choose? Is it just, this place will pay me the most, or no, I'm willing to go back to Miami no matter what?
Yeah, this is the cheapest offer I had by a large margin.
Wow.
Relatively speaking, but I definitely I always said I played this game. The money didn't really matter. I played for essentially free because I loved it that much. Now that's game day. Obviously there's other stuff you gotta it's a little different. It's a little too hard to do for free. But I turned down some real money to come here because I believe. And and Coach McDaniel, I believe in Coach Weaver, and just the talent we have on the team. I just feel like this is a chance, my best shot at winning the Super Bowl, and that's the ultimate goal for me.
Who were the people that you called when you made the decision on Miami, where you were most excited to share the news with them?
Well, it took me a while to make the decision. I was weighing offers for a while, and kind of going back and forth, and so I definitely leaned on my support team. But once I finally made the decision and I was coming back to Miami, but I come back here a lot. I'm in here every offseason. I already had a place here, so it was really easy. But I definitely, my phone was blowing up. All my Miami crew, like, oh man, you coming back? Is it real? Is this real? And I'm like, yeah, we make it happen. This will be a great year. But it has to make sense. All that stuff is great. But for me, this is football. Football is number one, always will be. And I believe that this team is poised to be a force to be reckoned with. And obviously the AFC is a gauntlet. You got so many teams that are capable of winning the Super Bowl and have all the right pieces in place, and they're working just as hard as we're working. And so we got our hands full. But I think we got a shot.
Calais, I love you, but easier to take less money after you've made $140 million, right?
Oh, come on.
He said yes. He said yes. Yeah, thank you.
We're not going to sit here and act like that, walk around, only made league minimum most of my career. I got a chance to make some real money. Business. This is definitely business, but We're 100% right on that one.
When you got into the league, if I had told you your expectations, have you exceeded them? Because I'm not sure you had Hall of Fame on your dream list when you came out of college, did you?
If I'm being honest with you, that definitely was on my list of things. Like I've always had, high expectations for myself. I really, I feel like ever since I was 13, and I told myself I made a commitment that I wanted to be in the NFL, and I was going to do everything possible to get to the NFL. The Hall of Fame was on my mind. And I didn't really know much about the Hall of Fame. I didn't know how it worked. I just knew that if there was a place for the best of them, I wanted to be there. And I know that, seeing, guys go that I played with, guys I'm friends with, the last few years. And, it definitely makes it a lot more surreal. Like, just like, wow, these guys are really like, going to the Hall of Fame, it just makes me feel like I have a shot. I know, for me, my mindset is like, hey, do more to try to make sure that it's undeniable, that you have a better shot. But, but at the beginning of my career, I had goals to, break the sack record too. I wanted to get to 200. 201 was my goal. And that's not going to happen.
200. Wait a minute. I'm putting you in the Hall of Fame because you've gotten to 100. You got 105 and a half sacks for your career.
It's going to be a pretty big year.
Probably lead the league in sacks if he does it.
I think so, perhaps. Although I'd watch Watt. 94 and a half sacks is all that he would need to get to 200 this year. But do you have a photograph or anywhere that getting to 100? Is it commemorated anywhere?
Oh yeah. The 100 sack club was like, that's once I got to the NFL and realized like how hard it was to get sacks and how hard it was to just be a great player in this league. Because in college, you could just out-athlete people. I was just a better athlete, and I can go out there and win without no technique, no moves, just pure effort and want to. Then I get to the NFL, and it's like, okay, no, this is real. This is the real deal. And I realized that, okay, I might not be able to get 200. Maybe we'll see. But I knew it was kind of tough. But I was like, all right, could I get to that 100? And for a while there, I didn't think I was gonna get there. I was like, man, I'm gonna give my best shot. But when I finally got to that threshold, that milestone, that C note, man, it was a good feeling. And yes, I definitely captured that moment, and made sure that that's something that's going to be, in my house for forever. I want to be able to, brag on it with my kids, hopefully my grandkids one day, if they pick up the game. And just like, that's one of the hardest things to do. Very few people have done it. And it's something that I always wanted to do. So, getting that C note, that was huge for me.
Who was the quarterback?
Sam Howell. Sam Howell, and it was a 2-minute situation because so many times I got close, right? I got 99, I was stuck at 99. I hit the quarterback like 12 times, but I could not get the sack. And I'm sitting here like, you got them wrapped up and they're throwing the ball away. I had Deshaun Watson, the year before, and like he just just threw the ball away to nobody. Like it's like it's more beneficial for you to just take a sack than to throw that. But Sam Howell was a 2-minute situation before half. He didn't want us to get the ball back, to go get more points before halftime. So he just took the sack, which was a very smart, coachable thing to do.
Calais, before my question, I want to commend you and Greg Olson as out of like that whole crop of newer school Canes that didn't have like the national title success. You guys get really involved in the program, so it's great to have you down here in Miami. Get to see you at more games, but you've had this amazing career. You've played with so many great players, and I'm wondering, between Larry Fitzgerald, Lamar Jackson, who just did something physically in practice where you're like, I know I'm gifted, that dude's on another tier.
I just seen some spectacular plays in practice. Really, Tyreek Hill is out here balling right now, and it's just like, wow, he's 30 years old and still rolling and catching everything. He's diving on the ground for balls. It kind of reminds me of the Larry Fitzgerald days. But that 2008 year when we went to the Super Bowl in Arizona, Larry Fitzgerald had so many incredible catches in games, but in practice, it was every week he was doing something way better. It was like, you think that was dope? You should have seen the practice he had on Wednesday. The catch he had on Wednesday was like, I seen him like land on his head and flipping. Like, it's just like, it's practice. I don't know if he should be going that hard, but he set a standard, that I could follow suit on. And I think that helped me be able to have the career I've had because I seen this, superstars practice. And, you realize that when guys are gifted and blessed the way, some of these, really good players are, and you have that work ethic, that grind, those are the guys that become the Hall of Famers, So I've been looking to play with a few of them, but Larry Fitzgerald definitely takes the cake on that one.
I've got a ton of questions for him because I really have been an admirer for a long time of just really the craftsmanship of what he does, because it's not just all strength. You just really have to be obsessively dedicated to being great at that, because it's so hard. Like, it's all 2.5 seconds and the ball's out. It's really hard to get sacks.
It's never been
days.
harder to excel at what he does.
It's just
right.
absurd.
At a Hall of Fame level.
And he's been so great at it for so long. So let me ask you, if I say one trait above all others, your speed, strength, will, what one trait is what makes you a Hall of Famer if you can only pick one?
Ooh, it's a really good question. Oh man, I think when it comes down to it, though, I think you have to have the mentality. The mentality that I'm not gonna let this guy block me. I don't care, how good he is. What the scouts say about him or the reports and the coaches talk about him. I don't care about what the scenario is. Like, I'm just not going to let this guy block me. This mentality you got to have. And it's like when you're training in the off season, it's the same mentality. When the game's on the line, I got to be the one to show up and make the play, and I can't let anybody else outwork me, it's just when you're training, you have that mentality where it's like, when I'm in these situations, I got to be ready. I got to be able to take advantage of my opportunities and then start some practice, treating it like it's game day, and I'm out there in practice trying to bring that energy, bring that fire, and making sure that I get that quality work. So when the game day comes, it's just like it's practice. And, and I mean, I love studying the greats, and all the greats that I've studied, you see common denominators, but I think the number one thing that makes somebody a Hall of Famer is a mentality. You got to have that mentality where, like, when the game's on the line, I'm gonna be the one to make the play.
Dwight Freeney had that mentality, and then he faced Bryant McKinney in the Orange Bowl, and he got stuck in his navel again and again and again. Jason Taylor had that mentality and said, I couldn't do anything against Tony Baselli. I had no chance. Anybody you've run into where you're like, I have this mentality, but this isn't working today, and it's not going to work. This person is too good at what they do. Have you run into anybody like that in your career?
I can't recall anybody. I was just like, dang, all right, this guy just got my number. I will say, though, that I hope a guy like Marshawn Lynch gets into the Hall of Fame, because I feel like, I know when you look at all the numbers and stuff like that, usually running backs, they want to get that 12,000, number, and he's a little short of that. But, when it came to, playing against him back in the day, like, I knew every time I was getting ready to tackle him, I had to bring everything I had, because he was running, full speed ahead.
Oh, wow. He went running back. He went running back instead of offensive lineman. I think it's because you refuse to give offensive linemen any credit. You will not allow, while you're still playing, any name to come out of your mouth to say that guy was better than I am. That's the only reason you went running back there.
I had a conversation with Cam Jordan a few years back, and we were talking about how, like, we don't, like, there are definitely great offensive linemen, but, when we're in the thick of like, I don't respect them. Like, like my mind said, no offensive lineman should block me one-on-one. I don't care who it is, and so, yeah, there are great offensive linemen, and maybe when I retire, I might be able to give you somebody who I feel like is really good. But right now, my mindset is I'm going to kill whoever you put in front of me.
But not today, Dan.
Yeah. But what percentage of time, Calais, are you facing someone that you are simply saying to yourself, this person is stronger than I am?
Never.
He's physically stronger than I am.
Never.
There's definitely a couple times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to use a little more finesse today. But that's rare. It really is rare. My mindset, like this whole offseason, I was just like, let me get as strong as could be, because I'm putting my hands on people.
What is an example that would explain to the layman how strong you are? I'm looking at your hands. Your hands physically are absurd. Like, just, I mean, they're
scary.
They're just very large. You put
They're
them on
mitts.
someone, yes, you're going to be throwing them around. But what is something that would explain to somebody who doesn't understand what your strength actually is, your physical strength?
When I think about it, I guess in, layman terms, I feel like, I mean, I don't know, like, I feel like, just the being able to pick up a car, like lift up a whole tire off the ground. I don't know if I can really do that, but in my mind, I feel like, like your baby's trapped in the car, I can pick up the car. I mean, honestly, I feel like, run through a door, knock a door down straight shoulder first, Now, obviously, I've never done any of these things.
But you could do them. You're pretty sure. You're
Right.
pretty sure you could do.
Wooden
those
door
things.
doesn't stand a chance, Dan.
He could just run through that stuff. Is there anything other than Tyreek Hill that you're talking about that you're seeing in Miami that has surprised you? I'm not talking about athletic gifts, but just already in the return to Miami, joining the Dolphins, where some stuff you didn't expect about what you've signed up for here.
I will say that the effort to the ball amongst all of us on defense has been a thing of beauty. And I heard all kinds of different things when I was going through my process, and I didn't really know what to expect, but I almost heard things like guys don't work hard, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, I can help with that, I can help bring the edge. I get here and watch practice, and I'm like, oh, these guys working hard as could be, Javon Holland, full speed to the ball every play. Jalen Ramsey, full speed to the ball every play. To see his maturity and growth, because we played together in Jacksonville, and to see him now, I mean, he gave a speech the other day where it was like, oh man, that's what's up, he's come a long way, but he's a Super Bowl champ, he knows what it takes to win, and I think we all kind of see this potential, and so it's like, man, let's just do everything we can to give ourselves the best shot. There ain't no guarantees, that's football, but let's give ourselves the best shot.
Calais, put us inside your head when Tua grabs the microphone at practice and starts celebrating his contract. Like, just put us there. What were you thinking? Crazy, right?
Hey, show me the money. Crazy part about that, though, is most of the young guys on the team did not know the reference. It's
Oh,
like,
no.
Damn.
Oh, you must have
we're
so much
washed.
stuff like that where you realize you're the old guy in the locker room. There must be stuff like that happening every day, right?
Cardinals legend Ron
Every
Tidwell.
single day is crazy. But, I mean, I embrace the old guy role. It gives me like a little bit of I feel really good inside knowing that I can still do it. I can still hang with these young bucks.
Calais, while we have you, it's an opportunity to geek out over Canes football. I was privately saying that I think you, Frank, Jimmy, you might be the last Hurricane Hall of Famer, Pro Football Hall of Famers for a little bit. And if you were looking for an eye of like who might be next, and we're getting way out ahead of ourselves, but Ruben Bain has a unique pass rushing ability, and I'm wondering if you've worked with him at all, if you've talked to him. He's a guy that can play inside, he can play outside. He plays with the power, not the size, but the power that you played your game with. I'm wondering if there's any relationship there.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him at the Legends Camp, and we spent a lot of time together. And, I'm just talking through his mentality, like his vision, the way he sees things. And I'm super impressed because when I was his age, I have none of that. His get off and just get off keys and the way he, angles he takes and what he's seeing and trying to work his moves and stuff. It's like, man, they're way more skilled today than we were back, 20 some years ago. I definitely had, the mentality and and just the mindset to go out there and just beat the guy in front of me, where he knows he can't block me at all. But I didn't have the skill, and so seeing Ruben, go out there and just kind of work on his craft and talk what he's seeing and stuff. And I gave him some more pointers, of course, because I've developed a lot of skill over the years now. And so, but I really think that he's going to be a special player. He definitely has a chance to be, obviously, so much has to go right, health wise, and he has to continue getting better. And I always ask guys with their what's your main goal? Is it just to make money? Because this is a great job and you can make a lot of money doing it. But the guys that I really respect are the ones that love the game. They love the competition. They want to just go out there and compete and and take somebody's will. I mean that's what the game's all about. Of course the money, all that stuff's gonna come. But when you want to go out there and compete against another worthy opponent and break their will, that's what gets me excited.
He's a 6-time Pro Bowler. Can you guys look up for me if there are any 100-sack guys who are not in the Hall of Fame? Do you know, Calais, and we'll let you go here in a second, can you name the 5 guys or any of the 5 guys in the league who are older than you are?
Oh, Aaron Rodgers, that's for sure.
Yep.
I don't know if Dwayne Brown's still on the roster. If that
No,
counts.
he's not. He's not on the list I have in front of me. There are 4 other guys. You're not expecting. One's a long snapper. One is a kicker. But one name I'm going to say I want to get him on the show because I can't believe he's still in the league. Mercedes Lewis. Yeah, like what the hell is that? You said you were going to get it anyways. Like what the hell is that guy still doing in the league? Who plays 20 years in that league?
Man, it's so impressive. It's so impressive, and I mean, when you gotta like the mentality he has, like he's cut from different cloth. Like he just loves this. Like you gotta, like it ain't like it's not. You get to play as long as you like, as long as I can. They gotta kick me at the lead because I love it so much. That's just especially like now I got kids and stuff, so they might be able to make me retire a little earlier. But and Mercedes does too. But we talked to him. Like I was just talking to him a few weeks back. It's just like the love we have for the game is just unique, and I wish everybody had it like that. But you realize that most guys don't. But when you let a game like we do, man, they got to kick us out the league.
There are a great deal of players that aren't in the Hall of Fame that have 100 sacks. However, none of them have had 94 sack seasons like Calais is preparing to have this season for the Miami Dolphins.
And I will say though, for because I played more interior than I played on the edge throughout my career. Now I've played both, obviously. But interior guys with over 100 sacks, it's a way smaller number. I don't think there might be one that's on the Hall of Fame.
Preach.
But the interior is a lot more.
Yes, a correction that is worth making there.
You'll probably go in with a class that is just like outside of the Aaron Donald. So like it'll be fresh in everybody's mind in terms of interior guys with 100 sacks.
There's 44 guys who've had 100 sacks who are not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's telling us that the edge rushers get it cheap sometimes, though, is what he's saying. He's saying get it through
I mean, Pat Swilling not being in the Hall of Fame is a joke. That guy was one of the dominant edge rushers of all time. He was a great outside linebacker. Right, Calais? He agrees.
Thank you. Excellent.
There's a few guys that I feel like they got a good chance to get in, and it makes you realize, like, it's not, there's no guarantees. It's tough. I mean, I know my mindset is, do more to make sure, because I there's no guarantee I get in, which is just kind of a humbling thing to think about, but something that I've always wanted and I hope I get, but at the same time, like, realistically, I mean, it's tough, I mean, you gotta be the best of the best for a long time. And I feel like I've always left my heart on the field and gave everything I had. And I think if you look at just like the numbers and stuff, like, I got a case, but if you look at the impact and like, the way I played the game and, the way my team was affected by the way I played the game, I think I got a lot better chance.
Or the voice puts him in the Friendly Monster Hall of Fame for all time. We will let you go on this note. Do you agree with this or disagree with this? I am saying that the kickers should, we were talking about this earlier in the week, the kickers in the NFL should not be in the Hall of Fame. They should have a guest house behind the Hall of Fame that is made adjacent by a walkway, and they can get from their Hall of Fame behind the Hall of Fame in the area behind it, but they shouldn't be in the actual Hall of Fame where the people are playing football and enduring the collision. Do you agree or disagree with that?
My man Justin Tucker, who I think will be in the Hall of Fame one day, I think that I got to give him some love. He can come hang with me, man. He's an entertaining cat. So they come in. We hopefully we get in there together. We
All right, a one-time exception that you're making for an old teammate because you love him. The rest of the kickers, though, out back. They're going to be out back. Calais, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate the time, sir. And it really has been a pleasure to watch you work over the last 20
I can't believe
years.
He's the old guy now.
20 years.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yes.
That makes us the old guys, too. You realize
Older.
that.
Yes.
If he's the old guy, then we're the old guys. We're the older guys. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. It's always a pleasure.
How is Clyde Simmons not in the Hall of Fame? I mean, think about that.
I can't believe there are 40 dudes with 100 sacks not in the Hall of Fame.
The great thing is during that segment, during that interview, Tony realized, it just dawned on him how great Bruce Smith was.
Holy shit. Yo, you need to see that video of Bruce Smith doing that interview where he falls backwards.
Yes,
it's
in
wild.
Buffalo local television. Just play this at the end right now. The video of Bruce Smith falling down. It hurts to play that game. Sometimes you got to self-medicate. You go do a local interview and you just fall on the floor.